Oh man, we're back at it like a credit card addict. How's it going, guys? Lee here. So recently in my search for some juicy credit card bonus points, I've been looking through a couple of programs and really, I'll be honest with you, nothing's really been sticking out. You know, generally when I look for cards, I'm looking for that 100,000 mark or somewhere close to it, 80, 90,000, all that kind of stuff. But most of these cards have been offering about 40 to 70,000 with a minimum spend of $1,000 to $3,000 within 3 months, which isn't really my thing. I mean, if I'm going to sign up for a card and put all the effort into it, I really want something rather big. So I've been looking around, and generally, if you want a card that gives you that 100,000 points bonus, you're either going to spend about $7,000 within 3 months or pay a crazy annual fee of a couple $100, like $500, or you're gonna get the first 40 to 70,000 in the first year, and in the second year, like, it takes a period of years to accumulate that 100,000 bonus points. Anyway, so all of those cards have not been for me, and I've just kicked them to the curb, but I have found one that I thought was of decent value. Now, before we progress, I want to make the disclosure, whatever you want to call it, that you shouldn't be signing up for credit cards if you're not going to spend the money anyways, right? So for me, I needed a new laptop for the end of the financial year, just as a tax write-off. And also I had a couple of renovations and stuff I had to do on my investment property, which I was going to use my old credit card to pay for. But if I was going to get bonus points, might as well sign up for a new one. So that was a couple $1,000. The laptop was a couple $1,000. You're going to meet the minimum requirement. So what I signed up for is the ANZ Black Frequent Flyer card. At least I think that's what it's called. These cards always have long names, but that's the card that I have. Now, the card design is great. It's awesome. I think ANZ's been killing it with their, high-end or premium cards that they have. It came in packaging very similar to what the Travelers Rewards card that ANZ also has came in. So awesome, great presentation, great card. So let me quickly go through the perks of the card. So what exactly do you get with the card? So obviously the first thing is you get the 100,000 bonus points with the cards. You get your $200 cash back upon spending $4,000 within 3 months. So there you go. There's your minimum spending requirement, $4,000. But we'll touch on a few of the requirements later on in the video. 2 Qantas Club Lounge invitations. You also have an unlimited Veloce. So basically it's a connection of all these different airport lounges around the world, and it's quite vast and in so many different cities. But there's a heap of a list of them. You can go on the site, which I'll plug down below, and have a look at where you might be going and if there's a lounge available there. Apparently all you have to do is show them the ticket and your card and you should be able to go in. You can also bring your companion along to one of these lounges, but it's at the discretion of the provider at that airport whether they let your companion come in with you on a complimentary basis. I think the big overarching theme in this card, which justifies the annual fee, which we'll talk about later on, is that you get a lot of insurance, complimentary travel insurance, complimentary excess hire for if you're hiring out vehicles when you travel interstate in Australia. So that's covered for you, which generally is like a couple $100, a couple $1,000 actually sometimes in terms of excess. But one of the cool things about this card, and it's not just exclusive to this card, a bunch of other cards have it, is purchase protection. Now, I always really like that, particularly if I'm going to make a big purchase like a laptop or something like that, because it gives me extra warranty on the laptop and it has a best price guarantee scheme. So if you find the product that you bought for a cheaper price, then the insurer will pay the difference between that. And obviously, just like any other credit card, if there's fraudulent activities on it, you're not gonna have to pay it back. There's protection behind all of that. And for ANZ, that's their ANZ fraud money back guarantee. So where does the 100,000 bonus Qantas points takes us? Now, for a description of where you could go with this, I'll leave a link down below so you can go and have a look and a read for yourself to see whether it's worth it. I think in short, because I don't want to go into all the particular destinations that you can go to, you can travel from the East Coast to the West Coast return on a business class flight in Australia. You can go first class over in Emirates to New Zealand and then come business back, or vice versa. And still have 10 to 20,000 Qantas points. Generally, if you're flying anywhere to Asia, whether you're going with Qantas or Virgin, it's pretty much the same. It generally costs about 80 to 100,000 points to get there in business class. And depending on how many points you have left and which airline you're with, generally you can come back to Australia on the return flight in economy. Generally, that's the way I like to use it best. I like the longer haul flights on business class. Otherwise, I just don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth. But hey, a free flight is a free flight. In saying that, if you've ever booked or if you haven't booked it before, it's also very hard to secure seats on these flights because they only allocate a certain amount of business class seats for these reward claims. So the requirements and the cost associated with the card. There's an annual fee of $425 per annum. I know, it's a lot of money, but you get $200 back in the first year once you meet that $4,000 spending limit, right? So the way I see it, it's just a $225 per annum fee in your first year. However, when you join the program, they do also charge a $55 reward program fee for you to join the program. Good job, ANZ, another fee. Obviously, as I mentioned before, you have to spend $4,000 within the first 3 months. The interest rate is pretty standard at 19.99% per annum. You should never be really paying interest. You should be paying the balance of all the time that you spend on your credit card. So please make sure you're not paying any forms of interest at all. Pay off your credit card within 1 to 2 week increments, whatever you feel comfortable with. But just remember to make sure that we pay off those balances. And finally, one of the costs that they have on the card is incurring a 3% transaction rate if you go and purchase overseas, which, you know, there's a lot of cards that don't charge you anything when you go and purchase overseas, so I don't know why they're charging it on this card, particularly when the annual fee for this card is rather big anyways. I guess it comes with all that purchase protection stuff. I don't know. It's 3%. So overall, with my quick run through of this card, do I think it's of good value? I think in the current environment where points are starting to mean a lot less, particularly with Amex downgrading their points, Qantas downgrading the value of their points, there's really no other option but to look for cards that have a big sign-up bonus, and banks know that obviously, which is why they're putting out these cards. Thank you, ANZ, you're doing a great job. But for the price of $425 per annum, I really don't see myself keeping it longer than the first year of myself signing up for it. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But just based on the amount that I have to pay per annum, and although there's a bunch of insurance and stuff on the back end when you use the card for purchasing, there's so many other cards, including ANZ's own Rewards Traveller card, that provides many of the same perks for a lesser fee, and you get free domestic return flight on that card, and it's only $200 a year, right? Half the price. So I really don't see myself keeping this for the long term, and I don't see myself fully taking advantage of all the insurance things that they have on the card. Like, I already hate calling up my own insurance and setting things up there. So very unlikely that I'm going to do it with a credit card purchase. In saying that though, I think it's a great one if you're looking to sign up for a big bonus, to fly on business class over to Asia, domestically over to New Zealand. That's international, but it might as well just be another state. No offense, New Zealand. I love our Kiwi cousins. Oh, and if you're looking to earn Qantas points, it's rather good because you spend $1, you get a Qantas point, upwards to $7,500 per statement, which is pretty good. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below what cards you're looking at the moment, what cards you've recently signed up for, whether you think it's a good deal, it's not a good deal, anything like that. Give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.